Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news-making headlines today. National Security Advisor Ri Song-nak says South Korea and the U.S. have agreed to pursue a separate agreement for bilateral cooperation for Seoul to build nuclear-powered submarines. He held a press briefing on Wednesday following a recent trip to Washington, saying that he had in-depth talks with his American counterpart Marco Rubio for follow-up measures to the allies' joint fact sheet, with the current bilateral nuclear energy pact banning the transfer of nuclear material for military purposes. The top security advisor mentioned the case of Australia being granted an exception in acquiring nuclear-powered submarines. The U.S. delegation will visit Korea early next year for working-level consultations to speed up the process. South Korea's presidential office is returning to its former name, the Blue House, or 청와대, from next Monday, after more than 3.5 years. The presidential spokesperson's office issued a notice on the matter to reporters on Wednesday afternoon. It added that the presidential flag bearing two phoenixes, currently flown at the Yongsan presidential office, will be lowered at midnight on December 29. At the same time, the same flag will be raised at the Blue House. After putting an end to the filibuster that reached its 24-hour limit, the ruling Democratic Party put a revised Information and Communications Network Act to a vote, leading to a passage at around Wednesday noon. The core of the bill is to prohibit the distribution of false or manipulated information that infringes on others' rights or the public interest, with the intent to cause harm or gain unjust benefits. It includes a clause to impose punitive damages of up to 5 times the victim's losses on those who intentionally spread false or manipulated information. This follows the ruling DP having unilaterally passed the bill on Tuesday, calling for a setup of at least 2 special tribunals, each at the Seoul Central District Court and the Seoul High Court, to handle cases of alleged insurrection, treason and rebellion. South Korea's foreign exchange rate authorities said action will be taken to stabilize the country's FX market. The Ministry of the Economy and Finance and the Bank of Korea said in a joint release on Wednesday that a weak Korean won was not desirable, and the government's commitment to addressing the issue would soon be seen. The Finance Ministry also announced tax benefits of a temporary exemption on capital gains tax if retail investors sell their foreign invested stocks and reinvest their proceeds to domestic stock market for at least 1 year. Following the announcement, the U.S. dollar plunged by 33.8 from Tuesday's close to below 1,451 on Wednesday. The South Korean government has decided to extend fuel tax cuts for 2 more months in an effort to stabilize fuel prices amid a recent surge in petroleum prices led by the weakening Korean won. The cuts reduce gasoline taxes by 7% and diesel and liquefied petroleum gas by 10%. The government announced that the measure will be extended to the end of February next year, saying it's expected to keep prices down by 57 won per liter for gasoline, 58 won for diesel, and 20 won for LPG. Meanwhile, tax cuts on individual car purchases have also been extended by 6 months as part of efforts to support a vehicle sales recovery. The tax rate, originally set at 5%, has been lowered to 3.5%. The measure was originally set to expire at the end of this year but has been extended through June 30th next year. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.